Following up with yet another example that's a little bit more complex, we will have the title, the instruction, an icon, a content, and now new content that depends on the fact if you have clicked here to expand the dialog or collapse the dialog. And we are also going to add a second icon in the footer area of the dialog with a text, and the text is also going to contain a link. So this is pretty complex. Of course, the TMS control is going to make it just as easy as any other dialog. We specify all the different properties in the Forms Designer at design time, and we can have a look at the appearance of the dialog even during design time. We don't even have to write any code. So let's start with the title. The title is TaskDialog with expandable text, and footer with hyperlink. Let me expand that a little bit so you can see it all. Then the content, the new TaskDialog provides content. I'm abbreviating the example a little bit. And then you do not only have the content text, but you also have the expanded text. This is the text that is only going to be shown if the dialog is expanded. So here the new TaskDialog provides content and expanded content if desired. Perfect. So let's test what we have done so far. We click preview, and here's our title. This is the content, and here you see details. We click the arrow, and expanded content if desired is also shown. And of course the OK button is the default button that is being shown, even though we don't have any common buttons selected right now. We have two properties to specify the text that is being shown when the dialog is collapsed, and you have the ability to expand it and vice versa. And the naming of the properties is a little bit confusing for me because I always want to specify them the other way around. So the collapse control text is actually the text that is being shown when the dialog is collapsed, not the text that is shown in order to collapse the dialog. So the collapse control text actually is more details, ... In order to show more details, you expand the dialog, which gives you the expand control text with less details, ... And if we preview this, you see more details, ... Then you see the expanded dialog, and the text changes to less details. So less details is the expand control text, which is the text that is being shown when the dialog is expanded. So it would have been a better property name to call it expanded control text, and this one collapsed control text. Sadly, both properties have been named the way they are, and because of compatibility, you can't make a change like that later on in the product cycle. So we have to live with it. Just remember, expand control text is the text that you have to specify when the dialog is expanded. What should the text say to make the user aware, okay, I want to see less details, so less details. And for collapsed text, the same kind of logic applies. So we already handled quite a lot of things. And now the footer is the final part of the dialog that we have to look at. And the footer is a string property like all the others. So we can say brought to Delphi by TMS software. And we already have half of what we need. We have the text. Of course, the footer icon is the next property in the list. And we want to set it to a warning sign, an exclamation mark. Again, here's the preview. So the only thing missing now is the link, and you can specify links using HTML. So here you specify the HTML for a link, which here is to https www.tmssoftware.com. And here we close the link. You can't see this. I'm typing this blind, but here you see some remnants of it. Okay, and let's preview this. And wow, we just see the HTML inside of the footer text. Word rep is perfect, but it's not what we want, right? So what did we do wrong? Well, there is an option, and the option is called DO hyperlinks. So we set that to true, do the preview again, and there you go. Here's your hyperlink, and even if you click on it, it even works during design time. You get the page of TMS software. So perfect, that's exactly the behavior that we wanted, and that's the dialog that we set up to develop.